Hi there, I'm Dr. Jacqueline Chassie here. I have the pleasure of sitting with Dr. Myles Spar today. Thank you so much for joining me.
My pleasure, good to be here.
Now, you are an expert in men's health.
Right.
And a lot of other things, but today we're going to talk about men's health. So Can you share with me a little bit about how you view men's health? Like, what are clinically the most important things that you need to look out for, let's say for a 50-year-old man who's coming into your practice?
I find a lot of the way we talk as integrative medicine and functional medicine practitioners is using these abstract terms of wellness and prevention that doesn't really resonate with men. It seems to resonate, to generalize, more with women. So the first thing I do when I'm talking to men, say a 50-year-old man who's coming with some issues, is to really talk about what are his goals. So it's not about wellness, it's not about prevention. I never use the word wellness with guys. I use the word, what do you want to achieve? What are your goals? And then let's look at how health could help you achieve those goals or how your health might be hindering you from achieving those goals. So it's much more performance-based and metric-based. So whenever I work with guys, I try and find the one thing that we can really measure that matters to them. Is it something related to energy level? Then let's just rate your energy 1 to 10 and then let's work on nutrition or diet or in some way, or exercise or stress or sleep, whatever we're going to work on, and let's keep monitoring that outcome that matters to him, that energy level. Or maybe it's sexual function. So you can kind of rate sexual function, whether it's libido or erectile function, whatever it is, and then have him track that and make some changes and see how that's improving so he can really see the difference he's making with whatever lifestyle intervention or maybe medication that we're doing. So the first thing when working with like a 50-year-old guy is really what matters to him. Not what's the matter with him, what matters to him, and then giving him some tools that will get him engaged.
I love that. And that's really insightful. And like, I will take that into my own practice because I think you're right. Like, integrative medicine has a little bit of a softer feel, that like mind-body connection that, you know, certainly a lot of women are drawn to. 70% of patients are women.
Exactly.
You know, and I have seen that kind of rise of integrative medicine coming to men in a little bit of a different way. Like, I think about like the Bulletproof executive, Dave Asprey, where he's had a lot of traction. And I've had a lot of my patients get engaged with integrative medicine through a route like that, which is all like cognitive performance, being better in your business, having the energy, being fit. You know, those things that are very different drivers, but it's the same foundational needs that you have to do clinically that get them there. It's really, I love how you've worded that, because I think that's something that is really useful in practice. Kind of men and women are different even in how they approach health. Right.
No, and it's a generality. And there are some women that approach this as well. And I think the more we can cater our message to the audience, the better. So in general, for men, they respond more to this performance orientation. But there are a lot of women as well that are much more in tune with, I need to achieve this, whether it's being a better mother or better executive or more on or more focused or having more energy, and they're going to make the changes they need to make if you talk in that way, as opposed to, you know, we don't want you to get breast cancer 20 years from now, so you should eat this way. Some women will respond to that, some just like guys. If you say, eat these hot dogs and you're going to have a heart attack, they're still going to eat the hot dog. But if you say, eat these hot dogs and your erections are going to suffer, they're going to stop eating the hot dogs. You know, so it's sex, body, and brain. That's the thing with guys.
That's what matters.
That's what matters. And it's kind of in that order, you know, and again, to generalize, but you know, they want to perform their best sexually, they want to look their best and have the most energy physically, and they want to be as sharp as possible. What's interesting is we're seeing in Dave Asprey, you mentioned in Bulletproof, I think they're seeing this as well. A lot of the like later age millennials are leading the way to be a little more proactive, and especially around the brain health part. And that's what's really interesting, is that some of the studies of asking men what their concerns are shifting. It used to be all about heart disease and prostate cancer. And some of those concerns are now shifting, where the concern about early cognitive decline and brain aging is actually as much of an issue as prostate cancer fear. So this issue of nootropics and brain performance and staying mentally sharp and preventing early cognitive decline is really something on the top of mind of especially the 30, early 40-year-old guys.
Yes, it's interesting. And it's interesting to see that coming into an earlier age group.
Yeah.
We live it in my house. You know, my husband's 50. He's going to love that I talk about this on a camera. But he is, you know, does information security. It's a constantly evolving field. And, you know, he knows a lot because he's been in this field for a long time, but he does complain too, like, and what can you do for me? Because I feel like I'm losing my edge. You know, I'm not as quick as I used to be in processing. And yeah, it is interesting because that keeps them up at night far more than thinking like, could I have heart disease?
Yeah,
and I think that's changed because I think about my parents' generation where, for my dad, who's also in business, his concern was always those, heart disease prevention, cancer prevention, those things. But I think you're right, that population seems to really be shifting.
Yeah, and I'm not sure. I think that population is shifting in their concerns. I think part of it is, when I went to medical school, we learned the nervous system was what it was. It was never going to change. And if there was damage, there's always damage and it doesn't recover. And then we learned about neuroplasticity and that actually, no, the nervous system does recover, even from pretty severe, traumatic brain injury or spinal cord damage. There are things we could do to coax some of the nervous system to help get better. And I think that's kind of empowering people in general, but especially guys in this discussion, to think, okay, then what can I do to really make sure that I'm helping that neuroplasticity be as powerful as possible?
Cool.
Yeah.
So sex, body, and brain.
Sex, body, brain.
Those are the bigs. Okay.
I actually recently had my practice in Los Angeles and gave that up to move here to New York City to be chief medical officer of a company called Vault Health. And we are specialized healthcare for men. So we are really dedicated to delivering this kind of care for men for their performance. And that's our whole focus is sex, body, and brain, perform better.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm sure that clinic's going to be like knock out of the park, lines out the door, because they're probably new to be advertising in that way too.
It is, yeah. And that's why we're doing it. No one else is doing it. And it's really born out of frustration that men aren't responding. They're not getting engaged. Men die younger than women. Men are winning at 9 of the top 10 causes of death, mostly from preventable causes. Like you said, 70% of the people that come to our offices as integrative medicine or functional medicine practitioners are women. We're really failing at reaching men. And so my passion is to really engage men and equip them with ways that mean something to them to improve their health and prevent problems.
So let's talk about this a little bit. So when you talk about sex, body, and brain as being real motivators for men to make change in their life, the changes that you'd implement to benefit those areas from like a lifestyle perspective, what are the key things that you'd be hitting upon for them, like just from a lifestyle perspective? And are those things the same things we would do for disease prevention? Is making those changes now going to help them? They don't know this or they don't think about it, but later on in life with chronic disease prevention?
Right. Yeah, the top things I work with men on in order to help them be healthy are really the things that they are losing the battle in against women in a way. Like we know that there are 5 habits that really contribute to that increased mortality men have over women. Men are losing at maintaining a healthy body weight. They're more likely to be overweight. So we kind of forget that because we have these body image issues around women and we kind of hold women to this standard of, having it all, including these amazing figures, but actually men are more likely to be obese than women. So I work with men on weight, and that's all about diet and exercise, obviously, that's a lot of it. And then also smoking, men are more likely to smoke. So, the fundamentals are really working on a healthy weight, not smoking, moderating alcohol use, making sure that they're getting some kind of exercise on a regular basis, and then working on sleep. But the tools I use with men especially are diet, exercise, stress, and sleep. Nothing that's brain science, rocket science. We all know those are the main things. But guys especially are not skilled and not really used to working on those issues. So with diet, I love intermittent fasting because it's easy, it's effective. It's guys like things that are, again, to generalize, that are simple, easy to understand, easy to follow, and effective. And intermittent fasting really helps with that. Exercise, having some kind of, maybe it's a high intensity interval training, some kind of exercise program. Stress and sleep are big ones that we forget to work with guys on. A lot of people in general, but especially men, think they can get away with less than 7 hours of sleep night after night after night. And it's actually only about 5% of the population that can stay healthy at less than 7 hours of sleep consistently. Wow. Yeah, most people need more than that or it will catch up with them. And it catches up with them in ways that makes you gain weight. We all know if you're not getting enough sleep, it's harder to lose weight. You start making more cortisol. Cortisol is anti-T, first of all. It's also a storage,
Anti-T meaning testosterone.
Anti-testosterone, right? And it's also something that helps put on weight, and it's a storage hormone to help you fuel your fight or your flight. So, working with guys on recognizing that they need to look at their quality of sleep and their quantity of sleep. I work with NBA athletes. It's a big issue for them because they're trying to practice and then they have a game. They have to fly home right after the game. I use the Oura Ring, or there's the Whoop device, or there's Fitbits, some kind of tracker to track sleep. And then stress. So, that fourth leg of that diet, exercise, stress, sleep stool is really important. And stress is something that we all have, but it's about, as we all know, working with guys and that we're talking about with men on finding some way to help manage that stress and not let it affect them physically as much.
What are the ways that you find your patients most resonate with for stress management?
I find a lot of guys for stress management really like some of the apps. When I work with these athletes, every single NBA basketball team has at least one player that has one or two of the apps that they use. So Headspace or Calm or 10% Happier or Insight Timer are really accessible ways to find a mindfulness kind of practice and get that going. And so a lot of guys really resonate with that, some more than others. Some of the apps are a little more kind of fluffy. Some are a little more, I have 5 minutes, just guide me through some kind of meditation that I can do, and that can be really effective. Also, a lot of guys resonate with just listening to a little guided imagery for a few minutes. Again, you can go on YouTube or anywhere and find a million different ones. So you can find one that's a little more, I don't want to say masculine, but a little less
edgy.
Flowery. Yeah, a little more edgy. That's just about feel your body, feel where your tightness is, like a progressive muscle relaxation. So I really find guys resonate with that. The other thing I talk to guys a lot about is journaling, but not in the way that we sometimes talk to women about journaling, like keeping a gratitude journal, which is great. But with guys, I talk about keep a journal, but the journal is all about what do you want to get done? Again, it's performance oriented. So start your day with, what do I want to get done today? What do I need to do that's in service of that? And then what's my bigger goal for like 5 years from now? And what am I going to do today that's in service of that? And that's really empowering to start your day in that proactive mode as opposed to reaching for your phone and responding to emails and getting yourself into a reactive mode. So I find a lot of guys really respond to that. Start before you look at your phone with some proactive way of planning out your day so you are in control. Guys like to be in control, again, to generalize.
I love that.
And that's a really good tool. Ben Hardy writes about that. He's a big blogger for Medium, I think the most popular blogger for Medium. And I find his tools are really effective.
Thanks.
Sure.
I'll share with you after by email. There's a planner that I use, and I'm like drawing a blank on the name of it, but I love it, and it's intended to be that goal-oriented piece. So it's a quarterly journal, and every quarter you write down kind of your big goals, and then it's set up like on a week-to-week basis. Every day you have your big three that are the three main things you need to accomplish, and then it has a list below it, and then the right side's notes. But then they have you establish like a morning ritual, an end of workday ritual, and an end of day ritual. And you track in there, like, did you do your morning ritual? And I'll share it with you. It's great. The guy has a ton of tools and resources. All right. So Dr. Spar, I've got one final question for you, which is really around supplement use in men. In your book, you talk about the top 10 supplements. I don't expect you to recall all of them. List them out for us. But when you think about men's wellness, what are the kind of key supplements that you just go to over and over again?
Sure. The top supplements I really recommend for men include magnesium, which is a big one. That seems very like, duh, I know magnesium, but for guys, especially because of exercise and recovery, it's very helpful for that. And it's helpful for making sure there's not a pain and build up in the muscles, and it helps with relaxation and sleep. So I love magnesium at night. I love an adaptogen. So almost every guy I work with could use some kind of adaptogen that helps him deal with the stress in life and helps him not be as reactive and helps protect his brain from cortisol, really. So ashwagandha is a great one. That's usually my go-to because for men's health, there's a lot of evidence that ashwagandha helps testosterone work better. It even helps sperm quality. There's some evidence. You need a pretty good dose, like probably around 500, 600 milligrams, a little higher than you find in some supplements. But ashwagandha is a great tool to help the body not be as reactive to stress. And then in that vein of adaptogens, not really adaptogens, but helping deal with stress, L-theanine. I love if a guy has trouble sleeping or relaxing, it helps boost GABA. It's really easy, doesn't make you tired. And then the last one I'd say that I really love is holy basil, because again, it helps kind of take the edge off without making you tired.
Great suggestions. Thank you so much.
Sure.